Yo! What is going on, Bitcoin? Emergency press conference. I am the co-founder and CEO of a brand new Bitcoin company. That company's name is 21. 21 is a Bitcoin native company with Bitcoin at its center and core focus. And we want to serve as the ultimate vehicle for capital markets to participate in Bitcoin. We are hopeful to list our shares on a stock exchange under the ticker symbol XXI. 21 in Roman numerals. Come on, you knew I wasn't going to miss that opportunity. There was no way. As I always do, about transparency, I want to be able to communicate directly with this community, answer all the questions you guys got. So let me tell you about the business. 21 is co-founded by Tether and myself. You've probably heard of SoftBank. That name's probably gotten around. SoftBank is a significant but minority partner in the business. Cantor is our partner on the SPAC side to combine a transaction to help take 21 public. Okay, a little bit more about the business. We expect at closing to own over 42,000 Bitcoin, and we already have over $500 million of cash committed. We've introduced 2 new Bitcoin metrics at filing to the financial markets. The first is BPS. That stands for Bitcoin per share. The second is BRR. A little play on money printer go BRR, but at 21, we make Bitcoin and sats go BRR. That stands for Bitcoin return rate. Let's get into it. Bitcoin per share, BPS, is pretty simple. It's the amount of Bitcoin each fully diluted share represents, reflecting shareholder ownership in Bitcoin rather than fiat earnings per share. So in traditional financial markets, companies are judged upon their earnings per share. It is a fiat metric. We are replacing EPS in earnings per share with BPS in Bitcoin per share. And what BPS tells you is how much Bitcoin on a fully diluted basis your share represents, okay? Now, BRR, BRR, making sats go BRR, very simple. This is the rate at which Bitcoin per share grows over time, but the key point of this metric is to denominate 21's performance in Bitcoin, not fiat. 21, again, is a Bitcoin native company. Bitcoin is at our founding. It's at our core. It's who we are. And we are pushing hyper-Bitcoinization at the core of everything we do at 21, starting with the metrics that we file and submit to the markets and regulators. We want to be judged on being accretive in Bitcoin terms, making our shareholders wealthier and richer in Bitcoin terms. And we want our performance to be measured, and we encourage the market to judge us in Bitcoin, not in fiat, because we are not here to beat the market. We are here to build a new one. It's often talked about that Wall Street has arrived at Bitcoin. I would make the argument with 21 that Bitcoin has arrived on Wall Street. Now, what was Bitcoin per share look like? As of recording and talking to you guys, this is our Bitcoin per share. Again, this tells you when you own 1 share of 21, this is the Bitcoin that represents it on the balance sheet. What my preference, in my opinion, what I think is slicker and cooler, maybe sats the standard, this is our sats per share. It's a very simple, elegant, but powerful metric for a company. Now, when I say we have over $500 million committed, what does that mean? What do I do as the CEO of this company? Why does this company exist? From the highest level possible, my commitment to you is to do 2 things. Grow your Bitcoin per share and grow our Bitcoin return rate as a company. Any decision I make, everything I do, whether we're launching new Bitcoin products, growing existing Bitcoin cash flow, raising new capital for us to acquire Bitcoin in accretive terms, it's all optimized on what can I do to grow our shareholders, which we view like other companies view customers. How can I grow Bitcoiners, Bitcoin per share, and contribute to the Bitcoin return rate of 21? So the over $500 million that is committed to us, we will be using that to grow your Bitcoin per share and the company's Bitcoin return rate. Okay? Now, this takes me to, how is this different from an ETF? I don't totally understand this Bitcoin per share thing yet. Let me explain. So, on the left, when you buy a share of 21 in a hypothetical world and sense, let's assume and start hypothetically that it's 0.0005 BTC per share, okay? When you are investing in 21, you're investing in an operating company. You're investing in a leadership team and an operator, which is myself. And you're investing in our ability to go out and grow that Bitcoin per share, right? Whether we're raising new deals like the over $500 million that's committed, whether we're launching new products, whether we're growing existing cash flows, whether we're expanding on certain hypothetical partnerships, our intent as a company is to work to grow your Bitcoin per share. So let's say we intend to grow from 0.0005 to 0.0006 to 0.0007 to 0.0008. You guys get the picture. So by being a shareholder of 21, you are growing your Bitcoin per share. You are growing your exposure to Bitcoin. You are getting wealthier. You are getting richer in Bitcoin terms. That is the intent and the goal of the company. And with our Bitcoin return rate, it's compounding growth in Bitcoin terms. And my sole job and my commitment to the public markets and to our shareholders is to do everything we can to grow your Bitcoin per share. As an operating company, we work for you, our shareholders, in your ability to get accretive exposure to Bitcoin, get wealthier in Bitcoin terms, grow your exposure to Bitcoin, grow your Bitcoin per share, grow the Bitcoin on our balance sheet in accretive terms. Now, when you compare that to something like an ETF, it's very different. An ETF is static exposure. If you start with 0.0005 BTC, you end with 0.0005 BTC. It's static exposure. There's no active management. There is no such thing as growing any Bitcoin per share. It is a security. It's an instrument that is static and represents a certain amount of Bitcoin. And so 21 is an operating company that, again, we've introduced these two new Bitcoin, hyper-Bitcoinization metrics measured in Bitcoin terms, and we're intending to grow in Bitcoin per share for our shareholders. Now, I put this graphic together. Sorry, let me move my big old head here. I put this graphic together to further illustrate why we started the company and why I believe we're different. So on the left, you have 21, then you have other Bitcoin treasury businesses or corporations. You have GBTC, then you have ETFs. And we're Bitcoin native, focusing on Bitcoin per share, aligned incentives, built by Bitcoiners, long-term Bitcoin accumulation plan. And really, at the end of the day, when Tether and I founded this business, what we recognize as an opportunity is there's been a massive growing appetite with institutions and a massive growing appetite for Bitcoin in capital markets. And we thought that the Bitcoin market hadn't met specific demand for a Bitcoin native business where there's Bitcoin at its founding, Bitcoin at its operating company, Bitcoin at its leadership team, Bitcoin at its KPIs, Bitcoin at its quarterly roadmap, at its annual roadmap, at its performance goals. Bitcoin through and through starts and ends with Bitcoin. We've been so inspired by all of the businesses that have contributed and innovated and carved the path for 21 to walk in owning Bitcoin on the balance sheet, growing Bitcoin in an accretive fashion. But we'd felt a lot of these businesses are pivoting from past ventures that they were doing before, or rebranding, or maybe they were selling video games to buy Bitcoin or equipment to buy Bitcoin. And there's no right or wrong way to be a Bitcoiner. Bitcoin is the best money that's ever been conceived by us humans, and that is for everyone. That's a tool that we at 21 believe all 8 billion people on this planet should be equipped with. So there's no right or wrong way to do it, but the opportunity that we sought after and the vehicle that we put together is purpose-built and designed to be one of, if not the winner of this Bitcoin opportunity. And we feel like if what you're looking for is Bitcoin exposure to participate in Bitcoin in the capital markets, this vehicle ticks every single box. It's about Bitcoin at its founding. It's about Bitcoin with the capital partners. It's about Bitcoin with the leadership team. It's about Bitcoin with the operating company. It's about Bitcoin when we raise capital. It's about Bitcoin with our metrics, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. So I hinted at it, but let me get to my next point, is that we're a pure Bitcoin play. 21 is an operating company, and I encourage everyone to read our filings and our business plan. That company intends to build Bitcoin financial services. We're not just here to educate people on Bitcoin. We're not just here to encourage the world to adopt Bitcoin. We're going to build on top of Bitcoin, and we're very clear about that in our filings. One of the things Tether and I identified is it's been so tremendous to see the growth of Bitcoin treasury companies and the ability to acquire more Bitcoin. But we think there's a better and bigger opportunity in taking the access to capital markets, taking this really unique asset, which is Bitcoin, on your balance sheet, this Bitcoin treasury instrument that you own as a company, and using it to actually build products, build services, build high margin, high growth cash flow opportunities. And as the founder and CEO of Strike, and someone who has experience and a proven track record in building one of the biggest and most well-known Bitcoin financial services in the world, and then a founding partner like Tether, which has the most profitable per employee business in the history of mankind and has achieved some of the most awe-dropping, incredible things in our sector, we feel like we have the prowess, the experience, the expertise, everything we need to extend this Bitcoin treasury opportunity beyond just acquiring Bitcoin and into something even bigger and even better. And we want to be clear with the market. That's our founding intention. That's in our filings. That's in our business plan. That's what we absolutely intend to do. And another thing that we believe makes us that different. And the last is, again, I referenced Tether. I've referenced SoftBank. What I like to say of what we're bringing to the public markets is blue chip credibility with startup upside. We believe we're big enough to win with a lot of initial capital and big backers behind us, but small enough to grow. We're just getting started. And this is what we feel like the market had a massive appetite for and was not yet met. Is a Bitcoin native business. It wasn't pivoting. It's not rebranding. It's not taking something from existing operating company and trying to do something in Bitcoin. It is a purpose-built, from scratch, designed vehicle to do Bitcoin the best we possibly can. Build Bitcoin products, push Bitcoin education, acquire Bitcoin in a creative way, build Bitcoin metrics. We don't want to be judged in fiat. We don't want to be judged in your EPS. We're about BPS and BRR. We even got the block height down here. When you go to our website, it is a Bitcoin website. It is not a corporate website of some other business that was founded a long time ago. It is a Bitcoin website. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do these things. We just think our way is of value to the market and to the world. Okay? So with that, that's all I have on 21 for now. I could not be more excited and thankful to serve the Bitcoin community and the public markets this product. I thank you guys all for your support. I do want to say one last thing. I remain the CEO, founder, largest shareholder, and controlling board member of Strike. I will make a separate video talking about that, but I run and lead both companies. I will talk to you guys about that later. Much love. I'll see you on the internet.